Almost connected. All right. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Where's your camera? Use you right there.
That's it right there.
The infamous camera.
That's the infamous camera.
It is the infamous camera.
Okay, here we go. Please welcome to episode number 266 of the CobraCast podcast with me, your not designated driver tonight, because we are drinking tonight.
That's right.
Yes, we are. The elusive. You're like Bigfoot, you know that?
Yeah. You tell me I'm the only Vallejo you haven't had.
Yeah, you're the last one. Anyways, Alex Vallejo's in the house. Are you ready?
Yes.
You're listening to CobraCast.
The cobra injects deadly venom through its fangs, like toxins through a pair of hypodermics.
This is the CobraCast, and here's your host, Bobby Sharron.
Woo! That makes me moist, Alex.
That's a hot intro, dude. Is that you playing the drums on that?
No. I'm going to tell you where it came from because you're going to get a kick out of it when I tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
It's fucking badass. Anyways, that is Kevin Gutierrez over at Assembly Line Studios did that for me about a year ago.
That's awesome.
He was up for an episode. I think it was him and Jim from Texas Mist.
Yeah.
And he goes, man, you really need an intro for this thing. And I said, yeah, I really need an intro, but I really can't afford one, you know?
Yeah, dude.
So, yeah, you know how that shit works.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
yeah. Dude, it just says everything.
It says everything.
Yeah.
So anyways, he goes, well, I'll barter some stuff with you, you know, and he goes, I'll do you an intro. He goes, what do you want it to sound like?
Yeah.
So kind of stole it a little bit. So if you remember, when Motley Crue, when John Corabi did that one record with them, they had this thing called Quaternary. And what Quaternary was is if you bought the CD, there was a little pamphlet on the inside of it. You probably remember this, right?
This,
Yeah. So you would send it in. It's like a little 4 or 5 track EP, but every guy had a solo track on it. And Tommy's was called Planet Boom.
Yes.
And I really
that.
dug that tune. And I said, man, I want it to sound like that. And that's where it came from.
So it's basically just Planet Boom revisited.
Yeah. So
I love it. And of course, you know that. I know that.
Yeah.
Like Molly, you know.
But a lot of
big
people,
metalhead.
A lot of people kind of go, what? I don't know what's going on.
No, it's awesome. It's monstrous.
It's monstrous.
Yeah.
We were talking about, Shannon Sam says hello. He was up here the other night.
Yes. Tell him I said hello. Yeah. Hey, hello, man.
Yeah, he's back from Amsterdam. He's doing like a tour of Texas.
Great.
So I mean, he's killing it.
So he's gonna we'll hopefully get to see him maybe.
Yeah, he's gonna be here for another 2 weeks, and he's going back to Amsterdam with his money and smoke his weed and space cakes.
Exactly. No, he's great, man. And I think he was a drummer in Pariah for a while.
That's right.
Yeah. And when we came to town, man, those guys, I have to say, Pariah were huge part of bringing Vallejo. I mean, we actually would open up for them they played Monday nights at Steamboat.
Yeah.
And we were actually sleeping like on Jared's floor, and those guys were very welcoming to us.
Yeah, he said something about that he saw you guys over in Alabama or something, and he goes, I don't want to say we're the reason for them coming to Austin, but I think we had a little bit to do with it. I'm like, I don't know about all that. But,
no, they did. And actually, it was a girlfriend. One of the guys in the band was dating a girlfriend. Jared's girlfriend was a really good friend of ours from Alabama, and she was like, we were thinking of all these places to move. Like we were gonna move to Orlando and L.A. And we were kind of like, okay, where are we gonna go? And Austin was always on our map, and she was like, man, screw all those other places. Y'all need to come here, and we'll y'all can sleep here, hang out at our house, and Jared will hook you guys up. So Shannon's right. They did have a little bit.
Those are the glory days, man. Because I rolled in '91.
Uh-huh.
One of the first shows I saw was It was Dangerous Toys and Pariah at the back room for New Year's Eve. That was one of the first shows I saw when I was in town.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and that'll make you just want to come here. I mean,
I know, yeah.
And I remember so funny, man. Like we'd go hang out at the Yellow Rose and stuff, and when we first came here, and I just remember seeing like Jason McMaster at Yellow Rose, and we were just like,
he was dating half those chicks.
Yeah, exactly. But we were just like, that was like our first to like come to Austin, like rock star moment, because we had we had the cassettes and stuff back in Alabama. So to see Jason McMaster at the strip club, we were just like, oh my God, like it's Jason McMaster.
It was cool when you had a record and you actually had, you were dating one of the girls that
it was epitome,
and they would play it. The girls would dance to your song. Yeah. And it was like, yeah, I made it.
No, it was just straight out of the girls video. Like it was amazing.
Yeah, because I remember we used to hang at the Yellow because we weren't cool enough to hang at Sugar's. Sugar's was all the high rollers at the time, ever.
Yeah, they don't let the musicians in there.
Well, at the time, Sugar's was like the creme de la creme of the girls and everything, and Yellow was kind of like right below that. Wherever Don King went, that's where the whole
DK,
thing.
he's our buddy. Yeah, man. And we were just it's funny, man, because like in a funny way, I always joke that like the dancers and the musicians had so much in common. We're all get on stage and have to act like idiots, and but it's like we had a lot in common. I feel like it was never, I don't know, for us anyway. We were friends with a lot of the girls and stuff like that. We so I mean it was just we'd go hang out, and we knew DK, and we'd go hang out
Drink
at the parties.
Tickets.
So like it was for us. It was just we were all entertainers in a room together, just pathetically trying to hustle our dollar.
Oh man, because I remember the thing with we used to. Not me personally, but you would see these bands that would play, and none of them had day jobs, and they would go to Pharmaco. Remember Pharmaco?
No, I do not.
Well, Pharmaco was it was a place where you would go. It was like a clinic or a hospital. They would be testing drugs. It would be like excuse me, and they would test drugs. You would get like, they would give you like sleep medication, but it would be they would try to test sleep medication on you, but they would give you placebo, or whatever. And they would see if you had any side effects or whatever.
Yeah.
So you would sign these waivers off saying, hey, I pretty much give you the right to my body or whatever, pretty much. And people, they would be in there testing, cancer medicine and all sorts of crazy shit. But what would happen on some of the tests, the bands would get paid big money. They would go in as a band and spend like a month there. You wouldn't see them for a month, and they would be in Pharmaco laying, and they would be getting blood draws every hour, and
it was crazy. That's a lot more. Seems a lot more interesting. I think back in the day, we would, as a band, we'd go do like taste testings for like KFC on their new macaroni and cheese, and you would get paid like $75.
Damn it!
We're like, damn it!
Was that a deal? Really? You guys used to do that?
No, it was serious. Like,
I wouldn't doubt it.
In Alabama, it was like,
really?
They'd hire these companies would hire kids and to like do taste tests and stuff like that. But seriously, that was like they were like, hey, we got a new.
That's what Shannon was saying. He was telling me that when he it was Shannon or somebody else, but there was someone went to Alabama where you guys were from. They said that you guys still hold the record for for attendance at certain venues over there and everything.
No, man. I mean, it's weird because like in Alabama, in Birmingham, there was only 2 or 3 venues, so like it was real easy to like spin wheels very quickly there. But yeah, I mean, we had just done everything we could do in Birmingham, and it's a great place, but it didn't have the music infrastructure that Austin has. And Austin still, to me, is it's with all due respect to the live music capital of the world thing, it's not. We still don't have an industry here either.
Yeah.
So it's like. To me, it's just a great homegrown place to kind of get your feet together as far as get a band and play the venues and get that experience. But I mean, we still have a ways to go, and we can talk about that later.
Oh yeah, totally.
The Music Foundation stuff. But I mean, like that's we coming to Austin for us. We just we were actually from Texas, so it was kind of culturally, like it made. You
guys are from Texas? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we actually are. We're actually from El Campo. We were born in Wharton.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, so we're in Texas, man. I mean, for us, it was to come back. We would come back and play, especially when we started doing like playing with Pariah and those guys. And we would come back and like, man, this is kind of like our family was here, and it's like we need to come back. We need to come back to Texas. So I mean, we just packed up the van and
you guys took over pretty much right away though.
Yeah, well, we had the momentum from Birmingham, so I mean, we kind of we already had like an EP, and the band was hot, and so we came here, and immediately we met David Cotton and Danny Crooks and those guys at Steamboat, and man, they took us under their arms, and and just really just nurtured us as a band for about a year. And man, within a year, we had KLBJ was playing the song.
Yeah.
And they were, of course, nobody talks about radio, but because we don't really have that as bands anymore. But I mean, they were hugely instrumental in creating what we have for Vallejo.
Yeah, I think Shannon was talking about the other night that he lives in Amsterdam full time, and he comes in like once every, I don't know, year, 6 months, 9 months or a year. He comes in to make money, then he goes back.
Yeah.
But he was saying, he goes, now with the local scene, he goes, the radio stations are kind of cutting shows in half, where local licks used to be an hour, now it's a half hour and all this kind of stuff. So like the local stuff is not even.
Yeah, man, it's just becoming just part of the corporation.
It's all about money. It's what it is. It's all about, how much money you can bring in. And
it's not the long, to the freedom that you have here. I mean, I feel like that's kind of how it used to be back in the old days, and where they did have that freedom, and they could play records that they dug, and they didn't have all these rules and stuff like that. So I mean, now shit, they play an awesome band, they get fired.
well, damn, it's like I have rules up here, but I just don't. I just do what I want.
Yeah,
so,
podcasts do give you that flexibility. But man, I mean, like, and that's I remember back in the day, the radios was more like this. It was very free, and you could play songs, and artists would play records that they were like, hey, what do you guys dig? And we'd play, I like Rat, so let's play Rat.
Well, that was my thing, because I was doing this podcast. This is like going on the fourth year now, and for the first 2.5, or let's say 2, I was like, hey man, I can't. People come up here, they got their brand new CDs, like, man, we're at 512 Studios. We paid $10,000 for this thing, or whatever they paid. We worked hard on it. Can you play it? I'm like, can't do it, man.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, Facebook will throw me off, and YouTube will ban me. And so one day I was like, I think it was with Backbones.
Yeah.
I was talking to Kelly, and she's like, man, we got these slamming songs. You got to hear them. I said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just play them.
Yeah.
So I just started playing them.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll get hit on Facebook.
Yeah.
And so I just tell people, say, hey man, if Facebook mutes, what they'll do is they'll mute the song, right? They mute the song, go over to YouTube, watch it over there, go to the audio podcast, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, whatever, and they have all the music right there.
Yeah.
So, we're covered, so Facebook is kind of iffy.
Yeah, I remember that. And I remember seeing some of your, where you're dealing with that issue on some of the podcasts.
And people are like, just everybody kind of ran to my defense on it, I'm like, I look at it this way. Nobody's got a big deal anymore. No. No one's on Geffen or, Columbia or all that kind of stuff. Everybody's got their own little things. It's like, you know what? If you spend a ton of money on it, man, let's fucking play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very, you're right. Because, artists really have a very limited, places to put, their music anymore. And really, it's as sad as it is, we nowadays, there's so few places that bands are desperate just to get it anywhere they can for free or anything like that, to where it was so much more different back in the day. Dude, like, not to age ourselves, but like our band was around before like the internet came out, so it was very different. And so
we're the same age, so
we played, the only way we didn't have internet, so you have to go to that city and play, and we would do newsletters with actual addresses and stuff. So just to see how it's all changed. I'm not complaining about it. We all have to kind of roll
with the changes.
And I will say that that's been the great thing of working like with Awesome Music Foundation, where we were doing consultations with artists and stuff like that, and just in a good way, we were all, the artists and us, were always learning. So working with the Music Foundation was always great, because the new artists were coming in and they were telling us, here's what we're doing, and we're doing this, and we would get learn so many great things, and they would learn great things from us as far as like what we did back in the 90s, and when so they love hearing kind of all those things, and it's totally different. But a lot of things in music are just very similar still. You still have to make a great record first.
Oh, that always helps.
That always helps, right? And then just after that, just learn how to market and sell yourself as a band. You just work hard. There's so many pieces to it. That it's just mind-boggling for artists.
I think like these days, especially in Austin, it's just the main gripe of a lot of people is getting people out to shows is the thing. And I tell everybody, it's like, you know what? There's so much to see here. I remember back in the day, 20 years, 25, let's say 1995. Let's say that's back in the day.
Yeah.
Where you would have like that one big event. Hey, man, Vallejo's playing Steamboat. That's the big gig of the weekend, Now you got like 10 of those.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, oh, man, what do I do? And and people, what they don't realize either is the younger generation might not be going to see, us older cats or whatever, you know what I mean? And they got their own thing going on. And I tell everybody, I said, man, you gotta create events these days.
Yeah, you do.
You know?
Yeah, and you guys have created one for sure. I'm sure we'll get into that pretty soon. And you're right. I mean, and that's what's happening too. It's not back in the day. It would be like, hey, it's one band or maybe one. I mean, really, it was all about one band because I remember. Yeah. We'd in Steamboat days, we'd be like, we're opening up for Little Sister, and like,
yeah, that would be the gig of the week.
No, like it would literally be like nobody would be there at Steamboat, and then like 10 minutes before the last song, like they'd be packed. Oh, yeah. So back in the day, when people came to see a band, they came to see the band was the big event. Yeah, Nowadays, you are competing with
so much
15 multi-bill shows. So you really have to knock it out of the park. And I mean, really. It's funny when I hear bands say, hey, we're doing a CD release, but like really every show you play should be what you put into a CD release. Yeah. It's almost like after the CD release, nobody really tries as much.
Well, I mean, and there's some bands, and they're listening, I know what I'm talking about. Like, I remember one band, they had a CD release, and they forgot the CDs at the house. Yeah. So it was just like, you know what I mean? Where's your CD? It's at the house, I think. I don't know. So.
Yeah. Nowadays, I get a lot of questions. Why should we even print CDs anymore? I feel like you should just for. There's impulse buys and there's people still use it for press and PR and stuff like that.
Your brother was telling me that AJ was saying to me that he says for me he goes I have them for for something for people to take home for me to sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, dude, I you can tell it's like half of what I have. I'm just like. I love CDs. I still buy them.
Me too.
All the local artists, I buy them. If they don't come up here and give one to me or whatever. But man, I tell them just keep on doing it. But a lot of bands are doing vinyl now back again.
Yeah, vinyls. And of course,
it's all coming back.
It's coming back. And I think people, the new generation, they do want to have something that they're holding in their hands again. It's not just the MP3 and all those things are just There's no.
Yeah, it's like fast food
it's
music.
It's not solid, I mean, like to have something you can hold in your hand, and like, I mean, I was a weird kid, so I could smell the glue.
Dude,
and
that's
like,
how I was too.
I remember opening up the tapes for the new Motley Crue thing, and just smelling the cassette.
I could tell you what some old Kiss records smelled like. I mean, honestly, dude, the original pressings. I could tell you, man. But it was an experience back then.
It really was, and I think that's what's coming back. It's not a nostalgia thing. It's just the kids are getting to experience, holding something in their hands and looking at the artwork again, and and there's some great, there is some great stuff out there. So I mean, and CDs, I still think it's always a good thing to pop that in my car, and I have a lot of long commutes, in Austin traffic. So I mean, for me, that's kind of when bands give me a CD or something like that. That's really my time to listen to the.
Well, that's my thing too. And if someone comes up here, after 270 episodes, people bring a lot of stuff up here.
Yeah.
You look around at the stuff and whatever, if someone gives me a CD out of respect, I'll listen to it. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. Even if it's only one time. Yeah. I have to.
Yeah, because you've been that guy.
I've been that guy. I go to KLBJ and next thing you know, it's in the trash can or something.
I feel the same way, and I've been. It's funny, like we go to venues and. It's just funny, like to watch AJ walk out of a club with like 6 CDs that people or people have come.
I'm not gonna do it all these.
Ran to their cars to go get, Omar. Like, hey man, please, like, I mean, when you go work at 512, like, just, we walk out and it's awesome. We love it because literally we walk out of venues like with CDs and cards and I just remember I hold that rule too. I will listen if you give it to me. I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah, at least
like,
once.
I was that kid and like I remember. People throwing the CDs in front of me in the trash as soon as I gave it to them. So I don't know. I as a band member, I'm sentimental to that. So I've always anybody, I will always listen to it because I know that all the blood, sweat, and just
dude, I'll tell you,
soul that they put into that. For somebody, it's as artists, we're just it's
I mean, we were so broke back in the day. I don't know how broke you guys were, but we were so broke back in the day, man. We give a flyer to somebody, they throw it on the ground, we pick it back up and give it to somebody else. It was like that flyer was not going to be wasted, man. It wasn't going to happen.
No, man. No, we would do all kinds of stuff like that. I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's tough, and that's one thing, I kind of leading into what one of the reasons I'm here for the One Road Austin show is really with working with a lot of the bands on and this One Road Austin show that we have coming up. It's actually a show that we're doing at Antone's on October 30th. It's actually coming up next week. So it's just a show showcasing kind of Austin's diverse music community, and a lot of these artists we have met through Austin Music Foundation. I'm also doing a lot of work. This show is, the idea is based around EQ Austin, which is a new nonprofit that showcases a lot of diverse music in the Austin music community. So this show the idea is really to kind of showcase just a taste of all, because like you said, there's so many artists in Austin. So just to put everybody on one stage in one night, and get them on stage and everybody kind of roll through a song, and just really picking an artist from every genre, from R&B to, I got Josh Ross on there from, he's got to represent the metal community. I mean, it's sadly, when we talk about genres and, equality, that metal is become
it's making a comeback.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I mean, but yeah, so it's such a great show, and I'm the musical director on the show. We did it last year, and man, it's just amazing. It's an amazing thing to kind of just to see how these artists interact with. We have a house band, so it's basically a lot of cats, like Eric Garcia on drums. Jelly Ellington plays guitar.
God, he's a beast, man.
Beast, like Jonas Sax on bass. It's like a super group.
Wow.
Curtis Lee is kind of like the vocal director that he kind of helps me kind of glue it all together, man. Who else? We got Cole on keys, Cole Gramling. So I mean, I have a super group for a house band, and then they learn all the songs. God, I love them, and you guys are listening. Thank you. Sometimes I'm just like, these guys are gonna hate me, but it's like 20 songs in the set, that these guys have had to learn, and we bring one artist in at a time, and it's everybody from Kalu James to, Vallejo's playing a song, Tomar Williams. We have Curtis Lee. We have Comolas Movies. I mean, just a lot of up and coming Austin acts that are gonna be on just on one song. So we just in and out. So it's gonna be a cool show, and really been awesome experience just to kind of do this show.
So how did you get involved with them?
Through EQ Austin. I'm actually, it's through this new nonprofit. I'm on the board for it, and me being like the music guy.
Yeah, you are. I mean, it's crazy. All the stuff you're involved with. It's nutty.
It's great, man. I mean, for me, it's maybe it's just my philanthropist side coming out as we get older. But I mean, man, I love it. I mean, Austin. That's one thing. We may not be the live music capital of the world, but it's a great music community, what we have here, where it's almost kind of like everybody's just in the same boat, so let's just all help each other out. So.
It looks like to me, I think, in the past, year or so, I'll say a year and a half, I think everybody's trying to step up their game and, bring, bigger and better shows and bigger and better events. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because there's certain things that just doesn't work in this town. Yeah. And it's like, when you're a band and you're playing all the damn time, because first of all, you love to play, it's part of you, right?
Yeah.
You got to make money to pay rent.
Yeah.
So you're playing 3, 4, 5 bands or whatever the case may be. People get a little tired of it because they're like, you know what? Hey, he's playing on Monday, he's playing Monday night, but hey, he's gonna be also playing Thursday night. I can just kind of just go and do it then.
Yeah, which one do you go to?
Which one do you go again? So that's why with my thing, and we'll get into that later. I'm all about making events because it's like this year, especially to me, I couldn't ask for a better bill.
Yeah,
it's like a fucking family bill this year, dude.
Oh yeah.
And we're all gonna get down like it's 1999 that night. It's gonna be sick, dude.
It's gonna be great. And we're talking about the birthday party. What you even last year, what you did?
The Push Monkey thing.
Yeah,
that was fun.
It was unbelievable.
Got to give it up to Tony Park too. I mean, he's a big part of the whole thing, and he's actually a bigger part than I am, actually.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we're 50-50, I guess. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he's your, in the Lollapalooza part, he's your Perry Farrell.
Yeah.
You
didn't even get to go last year.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
I saw the pictures.
I'm very aware of what happened.
Yeah,
and I saw video and pictures, and everyone that I know that was there was like, this is the most packed I've ever seen. A local show like this be, and you've already even raise the bar on this one. So you know what? It might just be there's gonna be a sell.
Yeah, I'm and it's cool because I guess we'll get into it later. But I mean, we got the School of Rock this year. We got Vallejo this year. We got Dangerous Toys this year. I mean,
great one, huge.
Black Heart Saints. We got. It's a big family bill.
Yes,
and that's what I'm most pumped about it.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
all our friends are going to come. All our friends and family. It's going to be, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, no, and a lot of these bands that have the same band base. It is a rock show. Let's be very clear about that.
Then you throw the Dirty Worms up there, and the Lord knows what's going to happen with that shit.
Yeah, and they're a rock band. But yeah, I mean, that it's going to be. It's going to be out of control, and I know that and we appreciate everything you're doing to make noise, just in the rock community, dude. Like I can say you're like our Eddie Trunk,
it's funny. I get that a lot. Yeah,
I'm
like Eddie Trunk, awesome,
and that's a great, and take that as a compliment because I love Eddie, but I mean,
great.
but I will say that what you're doing is really, there is this rock coalition in Austin, and you are kind of like making a bigger noise for it. So, I applaud you for that. And,
appreciate that.
That's,
Thank you.
Seriously. And then Tony, man, I mean,
Tony's Tony.
I don't know how many
he's a god in this town.
And I don't know how many discussions we've had, but I mean, he's a big, to have him, he's been talking about this for years, so like, he's a big part of the rock coalition. And to me, I mean, he's just, getting the Black Heart Saints, he's kind of the new blood, and all the success that they're having right now in Austin as a new band. But with all due respect to them, it's like, man, dude, it's like they're the hardest working band in Austin, dude. It's like, I mean, they're and that's to see them work as hard as they do. Like they deserve everything they do. But I mean, so going back to your show, man, it's just great that you're kind of helping these rock bands. Waving that flag and helping them have a voice, because there's not really, whether it's KLBJ, obviously, and God bless Loris, we love everything she's done, L.A. Lloyd and all those dudes, but I mean, we just need more outlets like this.
Well, I mean, we were talking, when your brother was up here, we were talking about ACL. How ACL is like, man, there's no love for any of the Austin artists, and I think it was Scotty MC recently put up a petition that I'm saying that everybody should sign this petition and tell the people that run ACL that we need more Austin bands on the bill, or you don't have any. I don't consider, I mean, they got Gary Clark Jr. or something, but I don't consider that like homegrown stuff. I mean, he's from here and stuff. I get all that.
Yeah, and that's been a huge discussion for years, and believe me, I've been involved in it, and I feel like we can help make that happen, and I do work with the people at C3 and South by Southwest, and I mean they're part of the EQ Austin board as well. So I mean, we're I think they would like that to happen too. We're going to start having those. I love that the conversation is happening. You know what I mean? But we that would be great to have just a stage where, like, if you're not from fucking Austin, you can't be on the stage. Or just and covering all the genres too, man. I mean, there's so much in Austin.
Well, because my plan was, and I really got to rethink this. I talked to your brother. I talked to Les Fisher. I talked to a bunch of people about it, saying, hey man, you know what? After this January show's over, maybe I do 2 shows a year, and we do like a Lollapalooza of Austin bands, like a country band, a punk band, a rock band, and just do like a whole day,
mashup,
You know what I mean? And just do like a really big, get a bunch of sponsors and make it like our own ACL kind of a thing. Maybe that's on the horizon. Who knows?
Something. I mean, there's so many right now. I feel like there's a lot of irons in the fire, and it's obvious that we're all, like you said, everybody's kind of raising. Well,
because I think everybody's getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know what I mean? That's what I think it is.
No, it really is, and there's good things coming, and there's good things happening. I mean, what Omar's doing with his show, everybody. I mean, what Music Foundation is doing. I mean, and I feel like we are all starting to work together. Starting to talk. And having Bob and School of Rock. I mean, that's a great. My experience with that, and just what it's doing for the new generation of kids is breeding we're going to breed the new generation of awesome musicians. With all the schools that we have coming. So like, there's so many great things, and I love the energy that's happening. There is. I feel like 2020. These next few years are going to be very, very good for the artists, not only the local artists, but I mean for the rock bands, or just let's just say, I don't want to just be like, hey, the gold metal guy, but real music.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, real music to where it's a band that writes their songs and performs their own music, and just a band. You know.
Yeah, because when I went to ACL. You know, I did the first Friday. You know, Guns N' Roses played and stuff. Saw a couple, 2-3 great bands, but I mean, I saw a lot of DJs with a lot of cool light shows.
Yeah,
I'm kind of like going, I don't get it. I just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I see, you know, a couple girl singers dancing around with a couple background singers with no band. They got a DJ in the back. I'm kind of like going, I don't know. But then you see a band like was it the Racketeers?
Yeah, Raconteurs.
Yeah. They were slamming. They were so good. I never even heard of them. Believe it or not.
Yeah. You know, that's Jack White's band.
Yeah,
which I think, you know, I mean, with all due respect to the White Stripes, I mean,
they're way better. I think
these are way. It's a rock band, you know, and no, it was awesome, and to hear them, and you know, and there was some rock presence at ACL. I mean, Cure is a rock band, but I mean, you know, having GNR, I went to the second weekend, and
they're so good.
It was good, man. They sounded great, you know. Like I mean, obviously they've been on that tour for 3 years, like. But you know, you could just tell all the cylinders are firing, and you know they just sounded good. And man, Slash is just you know.
Yeah, the whole band.
We can go on and on, but I mean that's.
Oh, I know.
It was awesome.
I love that they played like you know Velvet Revolver stuff.
Yeah,
and
that
Duff
was awesome.
Solo stuff, and I was like, holy shit, I can't believe he's actually singing Slither up there. I can't believe that shit. You know?
That was cool, and you know what? It was crazy when they played that. I was like, God, it sounds so much like a Guns N' Roses song. Like it could have been a Guns N' Roses song, you know.
Well, I mean, you know, there's like 3 out of 5 guys were in that band.
It was like Matt Sorum.
Matt Sorum was in that band. Yeah.
So I mean, no, it's but yeah, it was, and you know, I think with ACL, even there, you know, I'm very aware of conversations that. You know, that they're happening within their camp too, and you know, it is just to kind of be inclusive of everyone, you know, and I think that they, you know, that will get better, you know.
No, we did. We actually went over to see School of Rock. School of Rock played there. Mm-hmm. Amy Edwards' daughter was in one of the bands. We were hanging out with her for a little bit.
She goes to the Austin School.
Yeah. So and I was like, that's very cool, you know, that they had that over there.
Yeah, they've been doing that. Oh man, School of Rock they've been doing that for about 10 years. I mean, it's been an awesome. I think that's a relationship that they've curated really, really well for this a great opportunity. I mean, for School of Rock kids to say, "Man, you get to play ACL." I mean, that's awesome.
No shit.
Like I don't nobody most awesome bands haven't played ACL, you know. But
it's funny because Les always cracks me up with about was it Izzy Six?
Yeah.
He's got a drum endorsement. He's got a single endorsement because I can't get shit.
Yeah.
What about me?
Yeah. It's because Les isn't as cute as Izzy. But no, it's
I know.
And you know, it's like you know, but yeah, and Izzy's he's a monster on the drums, and you know, and to be as you know. To already know so much as a kid, man, it's amazing to see, you know. But you know, and Les, I mean, let's just not. I mean, with all joking aside, I mean, one of my favorite drummers,
he's a beast,
in Austin. I mean, if I had a top 5, I mean, it was always those are the guys that I was sitting behind, you know, at Steamboat, watching them, stealing all the legs, you know, and it's funny because like when he came to School Rock with us, it was like, you know, I was like, and I told Bob, I was like, hey man, like I got like. He's like, "Is this guy good?" I'm like, "Shh." I was like,
"It's one of the best."
I was like, "You're gonna." I was like, "Yeah." I mean, you know, the fact that he's even would you know, and I think it's great because he's working with the kids and the kids love him. But I mean, you know, I'm honored as a drummer to have him. At School of Rock, and the kids just I love him, and I don't think they even realize like what he can show them aside from just playing drums. I mean, you know, we don't just teach these kids music. It's like we talk about. You know what our experience is, and they get. You know, we try to show them, you know, that we try to save them like 10 years of their life by trying. We're just like, hey man, here's you know,
don't do this,
you know, and like so. I mean, so I think they just get a massive worldly experience. It's not just playing music.
So how did you get involved with School of Rock?
It's weird, man. Like you know, I have you know, obviously I have.
Connections all over the world.
Yeah, well, just I mean, it was, and I mean, stuff's all you know. Obviously, there's I forget it was one of those LinkedIn or something. You know, I have all my resume and stuff, and there was a guy that was just Bob had hired, you know, to kind of you know in the beginning to look for staff members, and he hit me up, and we were just like, I was like, man, it's you know, I wasn't looking for anything, and I was actually working with the Music Foundation, and there was some personal stuff going on, you know, and with some health stuff with some family members, and I just needed to kind of not separate because I was still working with the Music Foundation, but there was a lot of things I was doing that I just needed to kind of like step away from for a minute, and you know, for about a year, I just kind of like, you know, I was like, man, I'm just gonna hang back for a minute. And
did that for 10 years.
Yeah. You know, and I just needed to kind of like, you know, I said, man, if I do something, it needs to be like the Music Foundation, like something that I get. It's more than just, you know, I just wanted to mean something, you know. And when the School Rock thing came about, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, this is cool, teaching kids. I mean, awesome, I get that. And then,
well, plus you're a father too, so
yeah,
it's like, you know,
it changed. Everything changes after you have kids.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I don't know. I mean, once I kind of got into the thing, and then I went and then, you know, I met Bob, and and that was it. After I met Bob, and I was kind of like, I was like, okay, this guy is like a guy that I went to high school with, you know. So and you know, and he just, him and his wife are, you know, they're just a great pair to know. And once I saw the passion that they had for it, and then he's like, hey man, let's go to Chicago, and we're gonna go, you know, to go to this training. And once I left, you know, once I went to Chicago, I was like, I came back, I was like, all right, this is I'm on board with this, you know, and you know, and Bob's just been a great friend. He's what a generous guy. He's
totally 100%.
Yeah, 100%. You know, people just don't even know, like, you know, I mean, everybody at School Rock, they adore him. So it's, you know, and why not? I mean, the guy's like the coolest boss you could ever have.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like, so I mean, you know, after that, man, in School Rock, just, you know, they just have a great. It's been thought out, man, and this is 200 plus schools, you know, and the guys at Austin School, Rick Carney and all those guys have done such an amazing job of 10 years of research on how to just make it better and, you know, be more effective with what the curriculum is, and, you know, the School Rock method. So I mean, it's just proven, and that's when I went to Chicago and I saw their approach, man, I was just like, oh, this is amazing, you know, and I want to be a part of this. So, you know, and it's been great, man, and to me, it kind of goes with everything that we're doing in Austin with, you know, the Music Foundation. It almost feels like I was dealing with a bunch of like 20, 30, 40-year-old musicians, and now we're just even going back younger. So it's not like an intentional to like stronghold Austin or anything.
Right.
But you know, like we have all the ages covered as far as, you know, having the young kids, you know, starting to teach them at an early age. We have Music Foundation when they're ready to go to go learn about the music business, and Omar has a studios, AJ has a studios. So, I mean, you know what, in a way I feel like, you know, our part in our later years is just going to be to kind of nurture and continue to build this music community, you know. So.
And that's what I tell people when it comes to Vallejo, you know, somebody was asking me the other day, like, they're still playing? And some guy I work with, you know, he saw you guys back in the day. Yeah. I said, let me tell you something. I said, those dudes have been around for, you know, and I'm, you know, blessed to call you guys like friends. Number one. I mean, you're great guys. I mean, the whole band is. I love, you know, Bruce and all that shit. I love all you guys.
Yeah.
I said, to me personally, you guys are better now than when you were back then. I mean, I watch you guys now, and I'm like, oh, these guys are so fucking good, man.
I agree, yeah. And we're on autopilot at this point.
Oh, I know that's what Les was saying too. He goes, man, these fucking motherfuckers been playing 30 years ago. What do you want?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, man, we're on autopilot, and I just feel, you know, everybody's producers, and you know, it's like, I mean, you're talking about guys that have like went on and done things on their own, and to come back and we have all
come back to the mothership. Yeah,
Omar's recorded 1,000 albums, and AJ had produced records, and you know, so like to come back as a band, you know, after all that we've been, you know, all the stuff we learned with the music business stuff, like to come back, man, it's just like the band is just like smarter, and we're just more focused.
Well, it looks, and the thing about it is, every time I see you guys are having a blast up there.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, because we don't play as much anymore. So it's like before we were just like, God damn it, I hate.
We got to keep you guys away from the bar in January for a while. We let you guys drink after your show. You guys are on later. So
what time are we going? I'll make sure the band doesn't get there.
I have to tie up Omar in the broom closet.
Yeah.
That's another thing too, man. You know, we were talking about bass players the other day. I said, man, you don't understand how great of a bass player Omar is.
Yeah, no,
he's
so
one of the best. Fucking good, man.
No, he's one of the best, man. And like, you know, I don't say that just because
he's your brother. Yeah,
he's my brother, but like, you know, I could put him
player.
against most bass players, and you know, and he just it's amazing, you know, as far, and you know, not once again, just as musical knowledge, you know, Omar was always, he was like AJ and I. We played trumpet in the band or whatever, and we kind of just started hanging out with girls or whatever. And there was always something that was like, but he just always was musically of the brothers. He was more, he just had more of a focus on the music, and so I mean. Yeah, but as far as a bass player, amazing. And AJ is a guitar player and singer-songwriter. I mean, my brothers are amazing. I mean, AJ does the videos, and I'm in awe of what those guys do. And I feel like they think that about me, but we all do. We do. If everybody has their thing, and in a way, in a weird way, we all work together because, I throw in Omar bands at the studio or AJ and they're throwing me people, for Music Foundation and for I book events. So I mean, so it's like it's great where we're at right now with what we're doing. We don't have an agenda, dude. Like we just do it.
And that's the cool thing about the scene now. I mean, Omar called me about a month ago. He goes, man, I need 2 bands for 512. I'm rounding out the season. You got anybody?
Yeah. We're just hustling, dude.
Yeah, no, but that's not a problem. I said, dude, I had this Malanota, those guys.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah. So I told them, I called up, the drummer, which is actually Miguel from 333.
Yeah.
I said, dude, talk to Omar, and next thing you know, they're on the, they're playing on there. So,
that's who Like I mean, we're that's.
But that's what I love about the community is like everybody's out to help everybody else.
It really is. And we are, we do have these opportunities for artists, but we also are very selective in what we expect is greatness. So we want the band to have great songs, and we will go see them live, and like they have to kick ass live. Like if I see one, thing that's kind of like, man, we're looking for the total package, you know. And we're here to help the bands. If they don't have that, like, hey man, like let's have a conversation about your live show, or like, hey man, you know what, you guys are kick-ass live, but you have no songs.
Well, that's not good.
So like, we
it happens
in the nicest way possible, just to kind of help, if there's a place that they need, and that's what a lot of what Music Foundation does. Johnny Gowdy and Anar are over there now, and I would love to have, Johnny has a podcast.
I know.
Very, very popular podcast, and you do too. So I think y'all should be on each other's podcast. But
he's been on here before.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. And we're doing it. With Awesome Music Foundation, we have an artist development program where we pick 7 artists a year, and we kind of through a 6-month program. We go through their publishing. We just talk about everything. So, but next maybe down the road before our we have a show called The Next every year where we showcase the artists. And that'll be next year, but I'd love to bring, Johnny and Anar would be great. We'd love to talk about that program more.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome. And you should be, you should be on his podcast.
Well, that's the thing when it comes to me personally. I would love to do stuff, but I'm not one of those kind of dudes, those guys that want to play with you. They sit on the side of the stage with their drumsticks and are like, pick me. I'm like, dude, if you want me to play, just ask. I'll come up and play.
But I'm
not going to be that guy.
I would imagine doing podcasts though. Like I'm sure when Johnny came here, it was nice for him, for somebody to actually interview him on the other hand of the.
This is, but this is, I always go back to your brother because he's been up here a lot of times. I always have a great time when he comes up. We just get fucking crazy and shit. And your other brother, Omar. There's the fucking pajamas there. But anyways,
the infamous.
The infamous. But anyways. It's more of a hang.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions written down, or I just fucking just go, man. Let's just fucking go. It's more natural that way.
Yeah,
but with Johnny's thing, man, he's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah,
and he puts way more time and effort into his than I do with this thing. Because I like mine being like, just real raw.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he edits it and puts all music in. I'm not that kind of dude.
Yeah. Y'all definitely have a different style. But it's definitely
mine's more of a pirate radio kind of a thing, and I like it that way, where it just gets nutty and crazy, and I don't know what's gonna happen from the next moment to the next moment. You know what I mean? I love it that way.
Yeah. No, it's great. And I would love to see that you on his show.
And I always tell him, I said, dude, your thing is way more professional than mine.
Yeah. He's great, and we've known John.
And actually, he's playing on the show too, right?
He's playing on the show, and and a lot of these he's playing. Actually, he's gonna do a Roxy Music, "Love Is a Drug,"
really,
by Roxy Music.
Wow.
So and it's a lot of these artists. One thing as a music director that I really did want them to to do more of was. Songs. The title of the show is called "Songs of Love, Equity, and Soul," and I really wanted the messaging of the songs that the artists were playing to be about. I kind of gave them a kind of like a a goal. I was like, okay, I want the song to either be about love, unity, soul. I kind of wanted to have I want people to
positive,
have a positive thing.
vibe.
Yeah, positive vibe. So I mean, people, like Jay Milano is doing "I'll Take You There" by the Staple Sisters. Kalu's doing "What a Wonderful World," which is a beautiful rendition. I'm good right now. Yeah, and yeah, I will. But yeah, so I mean, everybody, and Curtis Lee's doing "What's Going On" by Marvin Gaye.
Fucking love Curtis.
Yeah, great
love
singer.
Curtis,
Great
man.
singer.
He's a great guy too.
Yeah, great guy. And so I mean, really the goal of the show was, to have that the songs had a message, and this is something it's an amazing show. I can't talk enough about it, but I would like to do this show, not only one time but a few times before we have to go rinse and repeat and make the band learn 20 more songs,
Yeah.
So the plan is to go do this show once we do it at Antone's, to go do it a few more times before, not the end of the year. We'll do it maybe 2 more times in 2020, and then start talking about 2021 and doing it again. So I mean, but this is something that's going to go on for like your show, like your CobraCast birthday party. This is something that I do hope to continue working on, year after year, to where it does become something that is, not only we can do in Austin, maybe we could do it in different cities. So, but
that's the thing.
Big goals for 2020 and next few years.
That's the great thing about doing a yearly show, because like you can kind of reflect on what you did the past year,
and you learn.
Trust me,
from mistakes.
We learned ungodly amounts of great knowledge on that last one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was talking to Tony the other day about it, and I'm the kind of, the way it works, how I'm like the kind of guy that Tony's real laid back. I love Tony to death. He's real laid back, and he's Mr. Patience, and I'm just like, let's go. He always says to people, Bobby's the kind of guy, like when you're on a road trip, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? That's me. And I'm constantly calling people, trying to get stuff going, and a lot of people, to their credit, are laid back, and I'll get to you in 2 or 3 days, and I'm just like,
you're on it.
So anyways, this year we were able to start way earlier in the year, work up, get the phenomenal bill that we have, work out the kinks early. Yeah. So, we have to hire people, to cover certain areas, and
and you still have time. We
got a lot of time.
Yeah.
But the great thing about it is you learn every year about what you did wrong and what you want to improve on, to make it better for the next year. And I always look at, in my personal thing, I'm being selfish on this, because I always tell Tony, I want to build a show that I want to see. This is something I want to see. I'm not worried about everybody else.
No doubt.
But, you know what I mean?
and I mean, if you could share, like, what would be one of the things you learned from last year?
There's a word. If you're into, like, I'm a big, well, being half Italian, I'm big into mob movies. And if you ever seen Casino,
yes, I have.
There's a word.
With Robert.
It's Robert De Niro. Whatever. They mentioned a word, leakage. And what leakage is? No, there's a lot of loose ends. People getting it for free.
Yeah.
And, just a lot of stuff that you could kind of cover.
You could tighten up a little.
Well, because and I'm not afraid to say it, and I hope a lot of the bands are listening. Is we want to have a great show, but we want to make sure that the bands get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's great that you.
Yeah, the bands are going to get paid. So the more people, and I've already had people texted me, wanting free tickets, and it's like kind of, hey man, this is to support the scene.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be pocketing a ton of money on it. Trust me.
I
did last year. I gave my percentage to the bands.
Yeah,
I gave I said, you know what, this is for you guys. You guys played a hell of a show. Here you go.
Yeah.
But the more money we bring in through tickets,
goes to the artist. Yeah.
The more the bands are going to get. So it could
great.
be, you can invite all your friends and give them free tickets all you want, but you want to make $500 or you want to make $1,500. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah, and that, I mean, even the deal, that you guys did for us, I think it's more than generous, and I think the bands, and that's great that you're thinking that way, because I do. Because there's so many events that people put on that it's really low ball on the bands, and that somebody's taking a lot more than they should be taking at the end. And we do want the promoters to make money. I mean, there's no, hey man, listen, I'm a talent buyer, I work for the event production services. I mean, I see both sides. You got to make your your business people partners happy, and then you do want to make the bands happy as well. But I mean, there's a lot of guys out there, and I'll just be honest, like they're just screwing the bands to hell and back. And those, I see both sides again. But everybody. I'm a big believer in that it works out for everybody, because I don't want to work for free either.
I want everybody. I want everybody to walk out of there, saying, you know what, we had a great fucking time.
Yeah.
Everybody had a great time. We made a decent. We had a great payday, but everybody was entertained, had a great time, and man, you know what? We'll be happy to do this next year.
Absolutely,
we want to play it next year.
And you said, that should be the goal of every performance, is have a great time. I mean, really, and that's really what it's about. I mean, we would never, it's not like a, you don't want it to be like a money grab or anything like that. It's just have a good time. It's a party, and it's all the bands that y'all put together are all friends. I mean, it's gonna be like I
remember
I'd be okay with not just between you and me. I'd be okay with not even getting paid to hang out with these guys.
No, but the weird thing about it was
it's like getting paid to eat ice cream.
No, but it was funny because last year, Broken Teeth was on it, and I don't see Jason that much, and we were hanging out in the little back area, Come and Take It Live, and the Worms are coming in and out. Brother Love was coming in and out. Robert Wagner and Xavier and all those guys.
Yeah.
And he looked at me. He's like, we're just talking, shooting the shit. And Broken Teeth was on, I think, before the Worms or after the Worms. I don't remember what it was. He goes, man, this is like a fucking high school reunion in this place tonight. And that's
all the people and just
I remember Heath coming up to me. Heath Clark played in Brother Love. He's like, dude, thank you so much for putting this together. I can't fucking believe this. It's fucking crazy, But that's what for me. That's what it's about.
Yeah,
and this event is the same thing for you.
Man, it really is, and it is a lot of friends. I mean, and that's why I end up on a lot of these boards, is because it's my phone. I have all these people on my phone. So I mean, that's my one thing that I feel that I am doing in Austin is because
you're 100% making a difference. You really are.
Well, thank you, man. And it's not, like I said, it's not intentional. I don't have an agenda, but like my strength, and I'm not an idiot when people come to me, is that we've been here for 25 years and we have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
So our strengths are our connections and people that we've known and have recorded with and partied with, and
Oh, I know.
And so I mean, that is our strength, and I'm okay with being the conduit in Austin, and that's what I feel like. That's what we're doing, and you're one of the conduits.
I am, because I'll tell you, because I have people call me daily for saying, you know a drummer, or do you know?
Yeah, it's like almost like an operator. Like, let me connect you to so and so. And that's cool, man. Like I'm down with being the conduit. And that's and all that's happening is just more connections and are happening. So it's helpful to all of us, because any connection that I get, then I can help somebody, or somebody can help one of the bands we work with. I mean, it's just good, man. It's to me, it's just a natural thing for me to do, and it's just like I said, there's no agenda. We have no agenda. It's just, hey, man, we just do what we know and just play music.
So One Road Austin is over at Antone's on October 30th. So it's not going to mess with your Halloween plan. So this is the night before Halloween.
The night before Halloween. It's early. I mean, we start at 7. School of Rock Austin's going to play a quick set. They always open it up. Get everybody warmed up, and then we start like right about 7:30, and we just go till it's over. And man, I'm just telling you, some magical moments.
We're gonna head down for that. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. And then on Vallejo, we got we're playing with Soul Asylum in Dallas.
I saw that gig.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And we, it's funny. We're kind of like, we were the '90s band, so we play a lot with these guys. And we played back in the day. We played with all these bands. So I mean, we just did a Sister Hazel show, Toadies. I mean, and that we're cool with that. I mean, our band is nostalgic in that way. That
we were talking about getting the Toadies for our thing.
Yeah.
Seriously,
one day that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I mean, and those guys
for them.
What a great show. So I mean, we're looking forward to that. I mean, Vallejo still plays a few times a month, and we're not going anywhere.
You guys are gonna be killing it forever. We're talking about.
We're like cockroaches.
You're gonna be like you and Keith Richards are gonna be around.
Yeah,
Keith Richards.
Yeah. We're gonna outdo him.
Hey, you know what I was gonna ask you, man, about the Dead Love Club thing.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that band, man.
Yeah, it's fun. I've been, and it's weird, man, because people think, I just came up with that like last year, but like that band
It's
has
been
been
for a
around.
while.
Been a long time. I mean, I want to say, man, we're probably going on 15 years. You
Has
know,
it been that long?
Yeah,
Really? Get
long
out of here.
time. You know, and well, in the beginning, it was kind of more of like a bedroom kind of studio project. You know, that I just did. You know, I dug a lot of the electronic bands. You know, Depeche Mode, and even when we were on TVT, we were Nine Inch Nails was like. We were on the label with Nine Inch Nails, you know. So I mean, a lot of the industrial stuff. I mean, Thrill Kill Cult, those bands. I mean, I dug that stuff too. So I mean, this band is just more. It was just a fun side project, and we've been doing it for a long time. I have a lot of music that I've recorded with AJ at his studio. I mean, I have like 3 albums worth of stuff, and I'm going to start releasing a lot of those records here in 2020. But I mean, we're just having a blast with it, and I mean, and now it's kind of like we've kind of spun off into like another band called, you know, it's called 80s Obsession.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and we do. It's mostly just like the MTV era, like 82, 83, 84. You know, our
I know you're talking
era.
I
You know,
right there with you.
Yeah, so it's Billy Idol and stuff like that. And it's so much fun playing those songs. And so I mean, so it's kind of like a cover band for fun, you know, private events, and then Dead Love Club's kind of like our Red River, kind of like evil, you know, electronic band. But man, I'm having a blast with that, and you know.
So was it tough for you to come up front for that, or was it a kind of natural thing?
It was, because I was always behind the drums.
Yeah, you've been the drums forever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but we started. It's in a weird way. It's like we started playing, you know, like at strip clubs and
yeah, it's a perfect strip club bar. Yeah,
and gay bars and stuff. So I mean, like, you know, it was, my plan was to do that because that's where it was, places where my friends were hanging out. Yeah. So I could kind of get more confident on the vocals, and then and also just work the band and make sure, you know, I didn't really want to play like a public show until the band was like ready.
Right,
and I think a lot of bands should do. A lot of bands play too early, you know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So I really kind of, you know, nurtured it in secret for like about 3 or 4 years, and then once I felt, you know, people, and then
it's a good long time.
People, you know, I was trading, you know, I had my first record was called Chronic Electronic, and I was kind of handing out CDs, and people were like, "This is cool, like you should actually play like in public," you know. And so I started playing a few shows like at Stubbs and on Red River, and man, it's just it's kind of grown. It just has its own thing, and like I said, I'm having a good time with it. But it's not like a, hey, I'm gonna be a singer now. Like, you know, like I'm not. It's not like I have no goal to be like AJ or nothing.
I saw it like, man, I'm gonna say like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was really funny because it was like,
yeah, everybody's always like, is that Alex or is that AJ?
That's the thing with you guys. It's like everybody's like, well, I can't tell the difference. I can tell in a heartbeat who's who. I mean, it's not even a, you know. I said I don't. But anyways, it was another birthday weekend. It's weird with me because my birthdays have always these big party events and stuff, no matter, you know. So that year it was like 2 or 3 years ago. LC Rocks was on a Friday night, and then you guys and Dharma Kings, and it was at oh shit,
was it at Stubbs or no? It was at a place. It
was
where the guy
some
got
tavern.
Shot
That's the one. Yeah. Where the sound guy came in like 2 hours late, and everybody was like sitting on the sidelines waiting to come up and shit.
Yeah, that was it.
So I remember that night. That was the first time I saw it. Yeah. And I dug it. I was like, this is really cool, man. You know.
Yeah. No, it's fun, and I
like
the
shoes.
It's a dance. Yeah, and I get to dress up. People are just like, and really, I'm just channeling, you know, like Rob Halford and Depeche, you know, those bands. And it's ironic that people are just like, hey, we like your gay band. I'm like,
gay band.
So what are you trying to say? Like, are you stereotyping people that wear leather? And
well, no, because you kind of look at it, dude, and it's like, you know, I mean, if you don't know what it's about,
it's kind of
like,
dominatrix style, you know.
Bit.
But you know, like I guess I never. Now that I do the research about Rob Halford, and he's like, yeah, we were going to like, you know, we were buying stuff at like leather bars and S&M shops. Yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay, I've totally missed that.
Because I remember watching it when I'm like, going, what the fuck? I dig the music. I'm wondering what's going on with the rest of it, though.
Yeah. And it was a show, and it wasn't.
It was cool though.
It was fun, and I didn't. You know, I'm not trying to do. I definitely don't want to do like a shock rock thing. That's one thing you can, you know, learning from Marilyn Manson. Like that guy can't even like he's like blowing up goat on stage, and like nobody cares anymore, you know. But like, I definitely didn't want it to. In the beginning, it was getting a little shock rocky, and then I was like, man, I don't even want to go down that road. So, you know, I didn't clean it up or anything. It just was more like I'm not going any further than this. And you know, and it's really, I mean, I think it's really a stereotype of when people dress in leather. I mean, there's like, a stereotype out there.
It's sort of like a Studio 54 kind of vibe to it in a weird way, you know?
Yeah, no, it does, but it is about style, and I really was it was totally to have fun, and when I think of like back in. I'm really just channeling bands, Motley Crue, and bands like Accept. You know, and to me, those are bands that I grew up with. But I guess now people are like, "That's you guys look like a freak show." But it's fun, and it's really just to channel. Really, just this band is all about having a good time. It's
what it's about.
If you think we're taking ourselves seriously, you're totally missing the joke.
You're missing a joke. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's totally for fun. I mean, it's not anything.
I mean, in a weird way, you know, it's like. Anybody that knows me, and you could probably get off my vibe when I talk to you sometimes, I bust more balls than anybody, you know, I'm a ball buster, if I don't, and I always tell people, I said, if I don't fuck with you, it means I don't like you, so I'll be honest, if I fuck, it's like, you know, Les Fisher, same thing, you know, and if you can't make fun of yourself, you know, I'm not saying you're making fun of yourself, you're having a good time, and, you know, and it's if everybody else is having a great time, you know, once it gets like really dark and like gloomy, doomy, it's like, I don't want to do that, like, you know,
no, and it's crazy because like it's
people love it though.
People love it, and the band is amazing. I got Chris Allen on guitar, I got Paul on drums. I mean, the band is like on Justin Timberlake level as far as like amazing, and you know, and
didn't you have like that girl? Was it Sammy from Dallas at one point?
I've had a few. I've had Bonnie was first, and then Emmy Robin was second, and then Amy Edwards actually was with us for a little bit. So I mean, you know, the females, I like to change them
drums,
out.
Though.
On Rona, oh yeah,
was it Rona?
Rona.
There was this other girl named Sammy, I think her name was.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm talking about?
We haven't had a Sammy yet.
Okay,
but Rona played drums, amazing, and now she has a new band signed, which is cool. And so I mean, you know, it's rotating members. That's why it's Dead Love Club. I really wanted. It's really, I'm the Trent Reznor of the band, and it's really the other band members, you know, have kind of come in and out. I mean, Chris has been my constant. I mean, he's my Joe Perry.
Yeah.
Chris, the guitar player, has been in my band since the beginning. So I mean, and I got Paul on drums. But I mean, amazing band, and it's weird. Like my goal with it was like, you remember when The Darkness came out? Like it was like. It was great, but you know, half the audience was like, "Is this like for real or is it or not?" You know what I mean?
Hokey, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of hokey, and it's not like you said. It's not to don't take yourself too seriously. It's just all for fun, you know. But where Vallejo is, we're more serious.
Yeah, you're more serious. I don't know how serious you are, but
I mean, behind the scenes, we're not that serious.
I
But
know.
musically, Vallejo's.
That's the great thing about man. I mean,
you know?
I go watch you guys all the time now when I have a chance. You know what I mean? But I always have everybody. I'm like a people watcher.
Yeah, me too.
I'll watch the band. I'll look around here, but everybody's having a great fucking time, and it's just, you know, that's what it's all about, you know.
And that's what Vallejo's always been. I mean, it's really our goal has always. It's the songs have been more about, you know, just hopeful, having a good time, and you know, love. I mean, you know, relationship stuff. I mean, so it's like, but it's always really. Our goal has always been to take people away from their problems. You know? And as opposed to like. We didn't really ever care to be a political band, you know, because, you know, we didn't want like, hey, you know,
be like U2 or something.
You split, you know. To me, that's always been, you know, we're not that guy. Like I always feel like business wise too, that was stupid. Like, why you want to cut your audience in half? But you know, like, you know, for me, the goal for Vallejo was always just to have a good time and take people away from their daily 9-to-5 draggy jobs and stuff like that. But I mean, it's a great band, and we're still going, and we have a record coming out next year.
That's right, yeah.
It's called Amigos. It's going to be all.
It's like guest singers.
It's our duets album basically.
Yeah.
And every song will have a guest on it. So.
I heard the Bob Schneider story.
Oh yeah. Have you heard the song, the Bob Schneider song?
Well, so I can't remember if it was Omar that told me or AJ told me. It was something about he was supposed to sing on a song, and he wrote you a song called Vallejo.
He wrote us a song called Vallejo.
But he was supposed to sing on it, right?
Yeah, he was going to sing on it, but he just did the whole thing. He's like, here's the song. And
he did what do I do now?
No, and it was a live version at a club in Denton. He's like, here's the song I recorded, and it's a live version, you know. And
did you use it or no?
We're something's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna make it on the record. I mean, maybe it's like a bonus track or something we'll give away.
Nothing wrong with those.
But it's hilarious, and I mean, it's basically him making fun of us for like 3 minutes.
And another cool thing that I got to bring up, which I heard about, behind the scenes, but that's finally see it come to light was you and your brothers down at 512 recording, Ovi's last stuff.
Yeah.
I guess it was and correct me if I'm wrong, because this was this story that I heard from, I think it was AJ.
Mm-hmm.
That AJ stumbled across some. It was just Ovi. Damn,
that's all right.
I'm fucking dying over here.
Yeah. Drink.
Ovi was.
AJ was he stumbled across.
Yeah, stumbled. But what it was Ovi just did some. He was just flowing, I guess.
Yeah.
And it had like what I don't know, it was like eight verses or eight.
Yeah.
He was just flowing with nothing.
Yeah. It was. And to be honest, it was actually a Dead Love song.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, I was gonna have him on a. It was a song. It was a cover of Frida's "Something's Going On."
Okay.
You've heard, that
I know you're
song.
talking about, yeah.
I know there's something going on.
Yeah.
And we were gonna we actually did the cover, and it ended up doing it with the rapper was Zeely, actually ended up on the album. And I don't know, I don't know why I didn't use the Overlord version, but it was something like that song. We recorded it, and we had a few guys come in and just throw some rhymes on it, and then we put it in the vault for about 10 years. And it just and AJ was going through, he was just cleaning up tracks, and he hit me up one day, and he's like, dude, I ran across like Ovi on these Dead Love tracks, and it's like there's like a lot of stuff here. We made him do 8 passes, and he just one's freestyling, and we just had a lot of stuff and he's like, I'm gonna give you these tracks, and you like, I went through, I don't know, so many stems, I went through all the tracks, and I just pieced, it's crazy because like when you're posthumous kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy because it's like he's not here with us, so I don't have him in the room. But putting a 3-minute song together with so much, and he's just going so many topics. So it was crazy because like I really had to kind of come up with 3 minutes of something that said something.
Right.
And in Ovi, everything's meant something.
Right, exactly.
And it's a very, very powerful track. So, and I finally cut. I have an Ableton Live at my house, and I kind of put everything together, and then I sent it back to the guys, and then we went into Omar's studio. That's a lot of the footage that people see. Is us kind of taking what we put together like in a 3-minute version. I kind of AJ put some loop and drum track, and then as brothers. The way we used to do everything is we have to do it together,
Right.
And that's what Ovi would have wanted, and it was that's when we worked with Ovi, that's how we did it. It was the 3 brothers and Ovi. It was us 3 little guys. and him just towering over us,
Right.
and it was just, we just did it like we always used to do it, and man, it's so, that track is so special, and that's really kind of what's holding up the Amigos record.
Is it that really?
Yeah, because we had already had it ready. It was ready to go. And when this song kind of came about, when AJ found it, we were like, Amigos. The song is called, it means friends in Spanish.
Right.
We're like, and who is our biggest friend? Like it would be. Literally, like if we release this record with no Overlord on it, our friends would be like, "What the fuck?
Yeah, what's going on here?"
Yeah, like I mean, like how could you have an album of friends and he's not on there? So I mean, for us, it was it was important for us to have him on there. It's a great song, and it's crazy because like a song that was supposed to be on something else became its own song.
Yeah,
and this is a brand new song. Nobody's ever heard it.
Yeah,
with it's a live band playing on it, which when I first saw Overlord at Steamboat, it was with a live band. And that's what made Overlord different was.
Yeah, he had a live band.
He was a live band before Roots or any of that shit. I mean, it was live band with one guy rapping. That was it, and you had Terrell singing the hooks.
I remember seeing him down at Steamboat like back. God, it was like. Had to be middle 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, he was, and he, that's what made him different. And he it worked with the Anglo crowd too, because
everybody dug it though.
Yeah,
there wasn't one person
saying,
didn't dig it.
Yeah, he would go and he would jump. I mean, I remember seeing him jump on stage with the Ugly Americans and Scabs.
That's
and
right.
He'd jump on stage with everybody, and he would just do a rap. And I was like, "Who is this guy?" And I kept seeing him pop up, and that was his. It was a smart angle. He's like, I'm not only gonna play like the hip hop places and stuff like that. I mean, he was walking into fucking rock clubs and dropping rhymes with bands, and we were just all like, "That's awesome!" Most of us had never even played with a hip hop artist, so it was. I mean,
there was like those special moments in time when I think Anthrax played with Public Enemy, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
and
there wasn't anything that locally what was going on.
No, you're right. And then that was kind of like what brought the Dirty Worm, like Smack and all those guys, and Crash. They were like, "Hey man, we like what y'all do with Ovi," but and then Smack was like, "Oh man, I'm hearing something heavy like Sabbath and Body Count," and then that we Dirty Worms, that first album, I played drums on it. So like we. That was all those, and it's crazy like how Vallejo, in a weird way, in the 90s with a hip hop artist, we kind of started nurturing them. I mean, we invested money in them. It's funny in a weird way. We were helping the hip hop guys and we were rock guys, and we still work with hip hop artists. I mean, we have some great hip hop artists on this show. I'm a huge believer. I'm a rock guy, I'm a metal guy, but I mean, man, it's like there's some great talented hip hop guys out there that we have to recognize they have great skills, and it's just like music. What they're doing is a scat, it's music. It's music, and there's some people that don't have any skill. You know what I mean? So it's like, but we've in a weird way we've always been tied to the hip hop community and the rock community, and then even the country community, and so I mean we just do a little bit of everything, and it's a healthy thing.
So with this show over in Antone's on October 30th. So you're going to have a house band?
Yeah.
And then, special guests will come on and join the house band one at a time, do a song kind of
a
thing.
One at a time. And the one thing I can, because you shared what you learned from you're doing your show.
Yeah.
And the one thing I learned last year was we had a lot of guitar players, and these guys would come up with their pedal boards.
Oh, Jesus.
And it would just stop the show cold in its tracks. So we'd have to wait, and Patrick was my MC. He's my MC this year, Patrick Davis.
Patrick Davis.
Yeah, and
gotta love him.
He's great, and I'm like, hey man, you gotta get up there and just shoot the shit. These guys need to plug in their fucking guitar pedal board or something. So like, and every song, sure enough, everybody come in my pedal board. So like the one thing I did learn, and with all due respect to the guitar players, I mean, I was like, what, I think I'm just gonna have more singers and vocalists on this show to where
makes sense.
The show we'll just have more of a flow, continuous flow. I don't want it to stop. I really want it to keep going, because I mean, I did feel that when we had to take those stops over and over and over with the guitar pedals, it just really stop and start. And it was a great show.
Yeah.
It was a great show, but I felt like I did want the show to have more of a
flow to it,
continuous flow and a continuous feel. And so. We're learning. Those are things we learn, and eventually I do want it to kind of play out like a Broadway thing, where it's like. And I went to that was the show with Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Oh, last night. Was it last night? No, it was Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night.
Yeah,
amazing. And I'm taking notes at all this stuff, because I mean they did it. I mean it was amazing. I think like, but then they would do like the one thing I did see about that, it was just back to back. And they'd have like groups, and then that they ended the last 3 songs. It was like literally Doug Pinnick, Kenny Aronoff, and Joe Satriani. That was it. Just 3 guys ended the whole freaking show. So I mean, I was taking notes on all that stuff, man. And I'm a sponge like that. I go to, everywhere I go. I'm.
You need to talk to him.
Looking at stuff.
We were talking about him. I think when we had our meeting, Mark Proctor's backstage had a ton of great photos. I think he's working on a second book now. I think.
No, we saw him. I have a picture.
Oh, do you really?
With Mark.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, and
well, you know what's going on, right? I already talked to you about that.
Yeah. And and Mark Proctor, it's great because like all 3 brothers, we were all there, and
awesome,
he was our manager. He used to
he
was our manager, and it probably, and I will say this, I say it all the time, but the best manager we ever had. We had 100 of them, and he was the best manager we ever had. So to see him the other day was really special. And we took a picture, and he was,
he's bringing you guys up in January.
Yeah. Oh, good. That's good. That's good to know. And we're in his book too. And which I was when he first told me he was writing a book, I was like, oh no, God, please leave all But you
no,
know,
it was very.
and there was nothing bad we did, and of course, in a joking way, he was like, oh no, it's just more like a picture book. And I was like, oh man, totally.
He came up and did the podcast about a month ago. It was the 3rd-year anniversary kind of thing. He came up, him and Tony came up, and he had nothing but great things to say about you guys.
Good.
You know, he's actually the January show is actually on his birthday.
Oh, that's crazy.
So he's going to come up. You know, I need to talk. We're actually having dinner with him. Me and PJ are having dinner with him next week.
That's great.
And he's going to be at the show.
Good.
And
that's a
bring his books with him. And
great surprise to me,
dude. It's like, you know, like with this year. Not to interrupt what you're saying. I'm trying to bring everybody in, everything, you know,
well, it's great. It's important.
You know, and getting back to Ovi, and actually Patrick Davis. Patrick Davis is the one guy that came up with it. I'm not going to take credit for it. School of Rock is going to be opening the show.
Yeah. Thank you.
And my thing was, you know, I talked to Crash, I talked to Patrick, and I talked to a few people, and I was like, hey, man, you know what? I wanted to originally do a Battle of the Bands thing, and it was kind of a thing, you know, we talked about it, and it was going to work. And he goes, well, we got this house band. We're going to, you know, auditions for house band, you know.
We already did it.
Yeah,
and it is going to be amazing.
Yeah, so anyways, house band's going to open up, and that's going to be Ovi's spot from now on.
Oh,
so it's going to be, Patrick came up with the title. It's going to be called Big Don's Next Big Thing.
Oh, that's great.
And that's going to be, you know, that's going to be the slot. And I think,
awesome.
I don't know if Patrick's going to be there at that time. So Les is going to come up and introduce him.
Great.
And I'll probably go up with Les or something.
Which is
like
a great tie-in because he's involved with School of Rock.
And he was one of Ovi's best friends. So it's like, you know, so, you know, that's going to be very special. And I really want to get like a plaque, you know, and every year put the house band, you know, 2019, you know, and hang it somewhere, put it at School of Rock or whatever.
It's beautiful, and we have to do things like this because you can have one event and then, you know, people forget, but you know the way that we're gonna keep Overlord's his artistry and his geniusness alive is we have to just keep reminding people about him and his music. And you know, that's why I'm excited about this track. I mean, it's the first new track he's had in years, and I think that it's gonna bring a lot of attention to who he was. And you know, we are talking to Patrick and Ovi's manager and about the Donnell Foundation, and you know that all his music is going to be available, and it's all going to go to the his foundation. And we you know, he was on a lot of people. You know, just to clarify, Overlord was on our record label, BMG. He was one of our artists. He was also our A&R guy, so he would bring bands to us. And you know, his records for us, you know, we are like totally down with as a label to just go, hey man, anything this guy gets goes to his family, goes to the foundation. Like that's his music, and what we want and what he would have wanted was to have a foundation and to help people. So I mean, that's what has been set up for this foundation, and we totally support it, and it's really just most importantly keeping the legacy of our friend alive.
Well, and I told Patrick too, I said, if you want to bring a table and set up shop, you know, at the merch booth and, you know, or the merch area and set up a thing for Ovi and sell Ovi CDs or whatever merch he has.
Always.
Dude, not a problem. And give it to the foundation, you know?
Absolutely. And that love, that's the biggest. When we lost him, that was
it was
the
huge.
biggest.
I remember
everybody felt, you know, that was a huge black cloud over Austin. Because, you know, people like him, I mean, we lose people all the time, and the ones that people were most moved by are the people that had that heart that he had, and that's why his passing was really hurtful to a lot of us, because that love was gone.
Yeah,
you know? and that's what that was the most moving part for anybody that knows. I mean, you can see it on all the posts, and you know, I miss his hugs and that laugh, and so I mean, for us, I mean, you know, it's like, man, to keep that just his aura alive is very important, you know.
You know, that's one thing I could say that I'm really grateful for, that I did get him up here for a podcast, him and Crash, before, you know, we got on a video, and I mean, got the audio of it and everything. Great. So, you know, 2 hours of him just, you know, laying it down.
Yeah,
you know, it was great.
Man, great. And you know, there's you know, he's one of the first with like Babu Blakes and those guys. I mean, and there's a whole new generation out there that, you know, that credit Overlord, you know, for being one of the guys that they saw either at a club or, you know. But I do want to let even the new generation of hip hop guys, they need to know that Ovi was here.
Oh yeah,
he was one of the first guys, and he made a huge impact on Austin music, and as the first, one of the first hip hop guys, with let's give Babu and those guys credit as well. But I mean, those guys were the godfathers of that movement. That was not in an Austin Willie Nelson town. was probably not an easy.
I remember we talked about
an easy thing for them. And now obviously it's the hip hop guys have more of opportunity with South by and stuff like that. But I mean, but man, I mean those guys were. Ovi was breaking down doors. I mean, really
big
was.
time.
Yeah, so.
It was. It was just crazy. I mean, like when I got here in 91, 92ish, it was. I mean, there was a hard rock metal scene, but there was still that heavy duty Willie, thing going on. And it's
Well, that's what we got. Everybody has to remember in Austin that and we have to respect those guys.
Oh, totally.
I mean,
100%,
Willie and Alvin Crow and I mean, those are the guys that created this music scene. I mean, they're the Armadillo and what was happening there. I mean, that's what started all this. And we have to always give credit and praise to those guys. But it was very, it was not kind of the melting pot that it was now, and there was a lot of people that had to break down doors. Alejandro Escovedo, those guys were breaking down doors for Latinos and stuff like that. And now, I do feel like Austin, this show is not. I'm here to say, like, yes, it's about equity in Austin and stuff like that, but this is not a complaint. This is not going, hey, you guys forgot us. It's like, dude, this is like, it's here. This is just a spotlighting what we have, So it's not. I'm here to say, like, this is not like a some mission thing to go because nobody they forgot about the Latinos and stuff like that. No, man, like Austin and in Brownout, there's like you got the Asians covered, like in one band, there's everybody.
Dude, I've never, that's my thing. I've never looked at it as a black, white, yellow thing or green. Yeah. I've never been that kind of guy, dude.
I say that because there is that side, and I want to be clear that I'm not that guy. I'm. It's like these are all people in my phone.
I know.
Like and they're my friends. And these are just people within our circle. Like it's for me to when EQ and they come to me and go, hey, this is what we're looking to do. It's like, oh, this is like give me something harder to do because like these are all our friends. So I mean, I just want to be real clear that this is just to spotlight and showcase what we already have, which is amazing.
So Antones, October 30th, which is
30th,
Thursday.
It's a Wednesday.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Wednesday, So and it's early. I mean, the doors are at 7. First band 7:30. I mean, we'll get you in and out of there. You can go home early, but
early what?
Yeah, it's early. And man, it's just once again just a magical show, and I just really want more anything. I want people to see this. They have to see that. It's just. I mean, we have Josh Ross doing Cashmere with Hayden. We have some amazing performances. So.
It's just it's a real diverse set of musicians on one stage one night.
It's crazy. It's crazy, and Jelly and those guys in the house band are like, dude, it's crazy because like we're playing these songs and like Naga Valley. It's like we're going. It's like every song we're going to like a different country.
Yeah,
it's
so going deep with it. Yeah,
it's so crazy. Like we're Naga Valley, and then we'll go over here and do a Hayden song, and then we'll do like a hip hop song, and then we do the metal song, and then it's like, can you imagine being the drummer? I mean, Eric Garcia, God bless him, because he is playing like
a lot of styles,
so many styles, and he's nailing all of them. So like and that was important to these guys are so amazing that they can cover all these genres, all across the board. So. And play them well, So I mean, it's gonna be cool.
So how long have you been rehearsing the show for?
We rehearsed this show. We started about a few months ago, and we do like every Tuesday until this thing happens. And and it's literally every Tuesday 4 to 5 artists, And after about 6 artists, like, these guys are burned. They're just like, I can't. I think 5. I think 5's the most. But every 4 artists every Tuesday, and then we have the night before we have our dress rehearsal. It's like it's a long.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so awesome, man. And it's a lot of work. I'm gonna say it's a lot of work, but it's awesome.
So you're only playing one song on this.
I play one song just because Vallejo, like we're there, why not? But yeah, I play one song and
but you're the music director.
I'm the music director. Yeah, it's not about me on this one. This is definitely about the artist. But I mean, I'm just keeping it together, And I didn't even want. I could have played the drums in the house band. I didn't. I wouldn't be able to play on stage and manage all the things that are happening, getting the artists there.
I know what you're talking about, 100%.
You're gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
Or I don't know who you have in charge to do that, but
we got an army this year.
God bless you guys.
Gorilla. We got some big gorillas coming with us this year.
God bless you all.
To handle all you guys.
Yeah.
Just to handle the Vallejo brothers, we got to have like an army with us.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Not so much you, it's your brothers I'm worried about.
Yeah, we'll take it easy on you. But no, so I mean, you know the deal, and so it's but it's gonna be great, and I'm looking forward to your show too. It's just
we'll get into that. I guess we'll talk about right now real quick.
Yeah,
we'll go back to because we're really here to pump this.
Yeah, no, and it's cool, and I think I've said everything I could say besides just I want people to come check it out.
So ticket wise, what are we talking about tickets?
They're only $10.
$10.
It's $10 on a Wednesday night to see an amazing show, and you can go to oneroadaustin.com. It has all the artists are going to be on there. A link to the ticket I think Eventbrite's doing the tickets for Antone's, and all the info's there. So
at the door.
At the door, we have $10 at the door too. So
nice.
Yeah, and I just want people to go. We're not going to turn anybody away. Like, hit me up.
So here's my message to the Austin music community: get up off your ass, turn off your Netflix. You can watch, fucking Breaking Bad, whatever else you got on there. You can watch that other day. Get up, go over to Antone's day before Halloween.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and go see a great killer Austin show.
And be with your peers, man.
Support the local music scene. Don't be lazy.
Exactly,
get off your ass.
Exactly, and get to know some of these guys you don't know. I mean,
exactly.
This is like, man, in one night you can go meet 20 artists that you could possibly play with.
And knowing me, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to see this guy. I'm going to say, I need that guy in the podcast. I need this guy in the podcast.
No.
And I'll probably book like 20 episodes that one night.
You should have your cards ready to go. Do you have cards?
They know who I am. They're like, hey, we don't want to do that stupid show.
Hit me on MySpace.
Hit me on MySpace. But anyway, that's gonna be kill. I can't wait. It's gonna be a great night. Especially at Antone's. What a classic place too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And man, we have a board that devotes on where the venues we wanted to do, but I did feel like it was important to do it at Antone's because Clifford, man, I mean, who else brought? I mean, he was bringing guys from Chicago. They couldn't play. I mean, so it was, what a better place than Antone's, who was first and bringing diverse. Austin.
Remember he brought Carson in.
Yeah.
Remember Carson?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's still here.
Carson Alexander.
He's fucking great. Phenomenal.
Amazing.
He's such a sweet guy too. Such a nice guy.
I remember watching him as just a kid, and what he's become now. Just and we always knew it. I mean, he was already
he's a beast.
He was so good at a young age that it was only greatness from then.
I got one great story about him real quick, and I need to tell it because every time I think of it, it just shows you what kind of guy this guy is. I emceed the event for Deanna Wheeler when she had her mishap about a year and a half ago. Over at
amazing story, yeah.
Amazing story. Round Rock Tavern. So anyway, somebody donated a Stratocaster. And we didn't, so it was going to be up for live auction. We didn't know what it was worth. He's this guy's, it's this year and it's worth this amount of money. I'm looking at it kind of going, I don't know about this. So Carson rolls in because he's playing his set.
Yeah.
And I said, dude, I need some help, man. He goes, what's up? I said, well, I got this guitar, and I know you're a virtuoso with this kind of stuff. I said, what is this thing worth? He goes, well, I got to take it apart to find out. So he goes out to his car, gets a screwdriver kit. He's got it on the side out in the patio. He's got this motherfucker torn apart. He's got it all screws, and he's looking at it. He goes, and he's pointing out the things. Okay, well, this is real, this is fake, and da-da-da-da. But he tore the whole guitar apart and then put it back together and gave it to me.
That's amazing.
And then he had to go play. I'm like going, that's
for him. That's just a natural thing to do.
But what I'm saying is that's what kind of community we have. You know what I mean? So he told me, hey, man, this is what it's worth, and da-da-da. And I think, he was on once before, but the next week I brought him back up. So, dude, we need to kind of hang out and kind of catch up on shit,
No, he's definitely that guy. And there's, Eric Tessmer, all those dudes.
Oh, I need to get him up here, too.
They're just super real, and just they've been here for a long time, and they've worked hard, too, and those guys deserve so much more credit than they get. I mean, they're some of the best guitar players in Texas.
That's the thing. I tell people, from from Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey, from I said, you don't understand the guitar slingers down here, man. You know, you see one guy and you're like, oh, man, that guy's badass. You go next door, man, that guy's even better than that guy. Then you go 2 doors down, that guy's even better than those other 2 guys, you know? There's just so many great guitar players in this town, you know?
You really have to, and, you know, and drummers and bass
players.
I mean,
you
can, and that's one thing when we came to Austin, it was immediately apparent, like, just get in line. Because, I mean, we had to get, you know, we got here, they're like, okay, you're badass, but, like, get behind Brandon Temple and all these guys, you know. I mean, like, you know, it was just, you just had to get in line, and you know, everybody had their, you know, you have to really work your ass off to get to the cream of the crop, and that can happen in Austin, you know. You just have to work your ass off and just go out there and shred, you know.
Well, it comes down to learning your craft and writing good songs.
Yeah, good songs is a huge one, and that's something, you know, man. You know,
you understand that.
At the Music Foundation, I love Einar for this part, but he's really like aggressive about just having a great song, and we all as artists really have to, you know, focus on that. That's first. That's, if you don't, I mean, you can be a great band, but man, if you don't have a good song, like, it's going to be a lot harder for you.
So I mean, so besides, like, you know, lessons and, I guess you put bands together in there. I mean, so you teach the business part of it too, then, right?
As far as what? As far as the Music Foundation is more the business part.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in School of Rock, obviously I help Bob hire the instructors. I mean, it's more kind of helping him open the schools.
Well, I'm talking about, like, the curriculum for, like, the kids.
The kids, yeah. For the kids, man, it's just like teaching these guys how to play Van Halen and Rolling Stone songs. It's crazy because the School Rock method is not like, hey, here's a book and here's how you play this
that's
chord.
How I learned too, yeah.
No, and it's like, here's a guitar and here's the 3 chords to the Nirvana song, and we show you how to do it. I mean, it's just so much more of an immediate result. You give the kids what they want. You know, I remember how many drum lessons we taken were like, I mean, you know, hours of prayer. You know, and of course, learning all your rudiments are great, but I mean, I remember you know, after 5 weeks of drum lessons, like, when are we gonna play Metallica? you know, and that's I feel like the School Rock gives the kids is that, and we teach the music theory within the song, you know. So, you know, we're gonna give you the song first, and then, you know, we'll learn this pentatonic scale as in an AC/DC song. So, like, in this solo. So I mean, you know, we teach kind of the theory. It's kind of a more of a backwards thought of teaching, and I feel like it's just more, the kids just get more out of it. They get more into it immediately.
Oh, totally, 100%.
You know, and then and our goal always is to put them, it's a performance-based education. So it's to get those guys on stage, you know, not one-on-one lessons with all for 10 years. You know, like, dude, like, we're going to teach you how to play guitar, and once you and we all feel like you're ready to get in front of people, we're going to throw you in a room with a bunch of other kids. And you guys are going to have a musical conversation. And then after that, once you guys sound good, we're going to put you on a stage like Hanover's or a local club like Antone's. And here we go. These kids are playing. So, I mean, the whole goal is to get these guys on stage immediately. And as quick as we can get them without, you know, traumatizing them if they mess up a song, you know. But it's to me, that's... And when you see these kids up there playing the song and their parents are tapping, you know, because most of the songs that we play are the songs that the parents grew up to. So the parents are rocking out like, I love this song. This is my song from high school. You know?
I've been to a bunch of the School Rock shows. I mean,
they rock.
The kids are great, man.
The kids are great, and just, man, it's a great fun.
And it's cool, and it's cool, you know. And I, you know, of course, you know, I said I have my show, and I mean, or, you know, mine and Tony's show. And I'm honored to have them on because it's a new generation. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's something cool, you know, for them to do. I mean, how cool is that for them to get? And even at that time, even though it's earlier in the day, it's still going to be fucking packed.
And we're going to have a lot of people, and the parents come. So you're going to have,
and to
packed with the parents,
and to be behind that big sound system at Come and Take It Live. I mean, they're going to lose their fucking minds.
They're going to freak out. And you know, where are we at? We were like in middle of October. I mean, we have October, November, December. I mean, we have 3 months, and we just did house band auditions. The band is set. We got 12 kids that are just ready to destroy.
Yeah, Nick called me. Nick
made it. Nick made it. And of course,
Nick texted me the next day.
Amazing kid on the keys. And you know, so these guys literally have, you know, 3 months to like come up, and this is going to be one of their first shows. So I mean, prepare to be rocked, because like these kids just can't wait, and to have that hunger. You're gonna see some hungry kids there. So
it's like your nephew's band, you know?
Yeah, no, dude, those guys. And there's so much young talent, and they're just. I almost feel like they're better. Then they're going to be better than us because they got such a young start. They got
that's what AJ was saying. He goes, my nephew's band, is better. They're better at that age than we were when we were kids.
Yeah, no,
he goes, I was writing songs about aliens when I was 5 years old.
Awful. Yeah, no, we were terrible. And we were just like, and even there's some Vallejo records now, we're just like, God, that's just, there's records are better than the earlier Vallejo records.
Well, I tell that story all the time. As like, and you probably heard me even say it, but I always repeat it because it's so funny. Is I remember, last year, because your birthday's in December, right?
December, yeah.
Yeah. So AJ invited me down for your birthday party. It was like family, and I think there's a couple of us over there.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. And
I think it's the first time we cordially met.
Yeah, was it right?
I think so.
We met in the past. We never really kind of had any kind of conversation.
But when you hang,
really, we didn't hang.
For like that. I mean, it's more of a family thing. That was when I got to actually talk to you a little more.
Yeah. So it was weird. I was driving up because I remember. AJ said, Crash is going to be DJing and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, cool, I haven't hung with Crash in a while. We didn't talk about show and everything. So I get down there, and I'm driving up, and I'm driving to Heath's house, and I hear, I shot the sheriff. Yeah. I'm like, man, fucking Vallejo's playing?
Yeah.
I thought it was you guys.
That's funny.
And then I walk in the back, and we're, back of the pool. And
yeah,
I'm
they have like a stage setup back there.
What's the kids? I'm like, what's going on with this?
Amazing.
And
yeah.
I told AJ, I'm like, dude, I said, you guys better start fucking practicing,
I know.
This guy's gonna take your job in another year.
We don't practice. We don't.
No, I know.
But you've heard about us not practicing.
No, it's a lot of bands like that.
Yeah. No, these guys, they're amazing, and they're already so mature to where they're at. So I mean, I really hope that those guys stick it out, because I mean they and of course they're young, so I mean they're
already
gonna
playing
have
gigs, though.
100 bands by then. But yeah, they're just great. They sound like an awesome band.
I'm down at what do you call it? What's the name of that club, the outdoor place? Help me out. Down south. Moon Tower with Heath and your sister Julie, and watching their son's band play,
Yeah, and the band we're talking about, just because I don't think we mentioned, is Tinted Vision.
I suck with names.
Yeah.
Tinted
so
Vision.
it's Tinted Vision.
Yeah.
And definitely go check them out. I mean, they've been on No More Show, and I mean those are the young bands that I feel like are whether they're the bands, I mean, or the artists themselves will go on to play in other bands. Obviously, they're so young. I mean all those guys could very well in 5 years be in totally different bands. But I do think that you can see who the diamonds in the rough are. You know what I mean? Like, and when I see this guitar player and this drummer, and just like, man, this guy's gonna have a very fruitful,
stick with it.
Living, at least you'll do well in Austin, that's for sure.
Yeah, learn your craft, man. That's all I gotta tell you. I mean, because when we were growing up, when it comes to like my lessons, it was all about.
You took like Joe
Franco, yeah.
I mean, that's crazy, man.
But but my thing was in the beginning. I started when I was like 5 or 7, 5 or 6, 7, I think, when I started, but then started taking lessons when I was like 9. But it was all rudiments. It was like reading music,
everything we talked about.
And then when it came to like drum set, you would do like single bass, the Karma to Peace books and all that kind of shit. Well, that's double bass, but then it went up to like the bigger players, and then it was down to Joe Franco, like in Long Island, driving an hour, that kind of shit. That was beyond crazy.
Yeah.
Then I moved down here after that. So, but yeah, I'm all, my curriculum was a lot different. I think for both of us back then, it was a different kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if we had School of Rock when we were kids, I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
my playing would have been way different.
It would have been way different. No, I was definitely more books, rudiments, drum set, different styles. I mean, I was already playing, they were teaching you how to play sambas and stuff like that. So, I mean, just different things. I mean, to School of Rock's like, hey, man, here's Rainbow in the Dark, and you got Nick over there playing the keys, so I mean, and it's so awesome. I mean, it really, the other day the kids were playing The Trooper by Iron Maiden, and just like with a girl singing the Bruce Dickinson part, and I'm just like, this is amazing.
Well, because we went down and saw you guys over at the my brain is fucking mush tonight. On 4th of July when Vallejo played over at, where was it?
It was the Hill Country Galleria.
The Galleria. I think of the Arboretum. It's the Galleria.
Yeah.
And they played. They had all the School of Rock kids there.
Yeah.
I can't remember which schools they were from, but what areas I mean. And one or two songs, AC/DC. I mean, I heard some Allman Brothers band. I'm like, what the?
Yeah. Oh man, it's great.
Killing,
they play
killing stuff.
Yeah, they play everything from Nirvana to Zappa. I mean the more advanced bands. I mean, seriously, playing like Frank Zappa and Rush and Yes and stuff like that. So and that's what the house band is. I mean, it's like it's the cream of the crop as far as like, our best players have to audition for this, and once they make it for a year, when we have shows like this, huge opportunities like ACL, CobraCast show, that they represent the school. I mean, this is the band that represents our school. So when we put that band on stage at Come and Take It Live, like that is going to be the band that represents, our school. This is like, and they're going to, and I have no doubts they're going to go out there and just kick ass.
They're going to murder.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be great, and I'm excited about that show. And that's who's on after those guys. I mean, do you have a lineup? Are you guys going to announce a lineup?
Yeah, we pretty much have it already. So,
but you haven't announced like the set times or anything, or will you ever? You just go,
No. We're still kind of working it because if you notice the time come, we had to kind of push it back a little because the bands that are on later, like you guys and like the Worms, want to give them a little bit more time. But we got looking at it going, man. I mean, we put that last band on at 1. I mean, it's not good, so we need to kind of push it back a little bit. Yeah. But anyways, let's go over that show really fast.
Yeah, sure.
Saturday, January 25th. This thing is going to start at 5 p.m. We have a VIP dinner from 5. I think it's going to be from 5 to 7, I think. But anyway, let's just go over the lineup on this thing. Is Come and Take It Live. It's the CobraCast Birthday Bash Slamboree.
Yeah, on Riverside.
On Riverside. My birthday is the 14th, and this is on the 25th, so
close enough.
But why it worked that way is because we're supposed to have it on the 18th. Problem was the NAMM shows that weekend.
Yeah,
had a bunch of bands that couldn't do it, so we said, "Man, I can't lose these bands."
Yeah, you can forget about Blackheart Saints.
We need to push it ahead. So I called Anthony. I said, "Hey, man, we need to push it ahead. Not a problem." Anyway, so we'll start from the beginning. We'll go. How about we go to the top and we'll start? How you want to do this?
I say start from School of Rock.
School of Rock and go okay
with the drum roll at the at the
there
end.
We go. All right. So, anyways, starting is School of Rock, Southwest Austin.
No, this is gonna be a School of Rock. Was gonna be our Round Rock.
It's Round Rock.
Our Round Rock house band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Rock Holiday, which is Matt Bray from LC Rocks. He has his own original
Josh,
band with Josh and Rob Schumacher from LC Rocks.
Amazing.
99 Crimes is after that.
Love it.
Texas KGB. Oh yeah. 333, which is Tony Park from Push Monkey.
Classic.
Blackheart Saints. The Dirty Worms. A little band from Alabama called Vallejo.
Oh, yeah.
And the Dangerous Toys.
Whoa.
That's going to be a banger.
That's heavy, man.
That's going to be a banger.
Heavy.
So nine bands.
That's great.
It's going to be sick.
Great. And all friends. I mean, I think it's just it's genius. I love it. And I remember you we went to have a little meeting. And when you said Dangerous Toys, when I saw that, I was like, wow. That was great. I was excited. We've done shows with them in the past, man, but they just go out there and they play all the songs everybody loves. It's going to be epic.
But the cool thing about it is, man, you got a little bit for everybody. I mean, you got you guys, Toys, Worms, KGB, which I love. I love Texas KGB. And of course the Blackheart Saints. But anyways, Big Don's next big thing for the School of Rock, which is going to be killer.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's going to be the first annual.
Big Don, and what is it? What do they call it? What is Big Don's title for that slot?
What do you mean?
What is it? What did you call it? What did Patrick say the title?
It was called Big Don's Next Big Thing.
Next Big Thing. I love it. Kind of like his CD.
Yeah, there you go. So I mean, Big Don was one of his little alter egos.
Yeah.
That was for the kids.
Yeah.
So I gotta give that to Patrick.
Is that something every year you guys will feature a kid band?
That's gonna be probably School of Rock from now on.
Oh, great!
So the house band every year, School of Rock is gonna be
great. And we have, dude, and that's so beautiful. I love it. And we do also have a show. We do. That's great that you are nurturing the young talent. School of Rock South of West Austin. We are opening a school in South Park Meadows is going to be the next one. So I definitely want to, say, if you live in the South Austin area, we're going to be opening in like mid-December, kind of soft launch, and then January 2020 grand opening. But if you live in the South Austin area, School of Rock is coming to South Park Meadows.
And you're running that one, right?
And I'm running them all. But it's not all the School of Rock.
That's gonna be yours though, right?
Yeah, that's gonna South Austin's kind of where we live. So
okay.
But that's gonna be my hub, and it was kind of Bob was like, hey, this is your little place right here, since it's right down the street. It's in Vallejo land. Bob's real excited about that.
That's awesome.
That's our
your hood over there.
That's our hood.
That's
so we're
hood,
gonna that one's gonna be banging, and we're gonna make sure that it's gonna be great. And really South Austin, I know just from living in that area that it's starving for something like that. And I know that the kiddos are gonna be real excited, and it's just gonna be a great thing for South Austin. So that's coming January 2020, and it's looking forward to that. The next one we're looking at Cedar Park. So I mean, will be 4 School Rocks opening up in the next few years. So, but that's the South Park Meadows is definitely the next one.
January's gonna be busy.
Busy, yeah, and not to throw another show in there, but we do have on Sunday. I think I don't know when this will air, but Sunday
tonight. It's going live
tonight. Great. Okay, so this Sunday, the 20, I think it's the 27th, we're doing a Bark at the Moon Tower.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's at Moon Tower Saloon, but Bob came up with that. I was kind of clever.
He's a metal guy, isn't he?
We're all metal
I remember
guys.
we were at the Texas Mess, and he goes, play some metal.
Yeah,
He's screaming at the kids, play some metal.
And that's where we immediately, started.
Yeah.
We bonded. It was just like two guys, like rock nerds. But I mean, so we have Bark at the Moon Tower coming up.
That's
and
awesome.
that is a Southwest, a School Rock Southwest Austin show. And that to your going back to the Overlord thing is why I brought it up. But that's going to feature a lot of the teen bands, and it's all a showcase for Austin teen bands, and we're going to have the School Rock play that one as well too. So, but a lot going on, man. So
I know.
Yeah,
gonna be
but with the main focus being your show.
This one right here. This is the main focus right now. Don't worry about mine. We'll worry about this one right now.
Yeah. They're 2 great shows. But yeah, One Road Austin. Once again, it's Antone's. It's next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Songs of Love, Equity, and Soul. Got over 20 local artists from all flavors, and just every. Just this. I want to say not every, because this is just a small taste of what we have in Austin.
Yeah,
20 people is not all of Austin.
It's like a small buffet,
just a small little buffet of what we have to offer in Austin as far as diversity. And thanks to EQ Austin, which is a new nonprofit that is actually championing and highlighting that we do have this melting pot of great artists. And of course, I also want to give props to Event Production Services, who I've worked with for through the Pachanga Festival. Jeff and those guys are out there helping produce Blues on the Green for many years.
Right.
Carrollton Fest, which we do in Carrollton, coming up on November 2nd. So, and EPS Presents is actually producing this event. So, and so it's just we all work together. This is more kind of like, once again, the community thing.
Yeah.
Tying a lot, Event Production Services, EQ Austin, School of Rock, Austin Music Foundation, 512 Studios, VMG, it's everything that I do rolled into one show.
Yeah.
so very, very excited about it. But I mean, a lot of great things are happening, and once again, this is all about the community. So.
Yeah, this is definitely a community event, because when you have like people from every walk of life on this thing. Man.
Oh, it's great, and it's just going to be a good, if you want a good taste of kind of a lot of different genres, and once again, as an artist, if you just want to go meet a bunch of artists that you've never met, I think this is a great networking opportunity.
It's a good date night show.
Yeah. Oh, we have a lot of date night, dinner and a show. Go eat dinner with your gal.
There you go.
Or your loved one, and then come check out the
show.
I
said, man, just turn off your remote, turn off Netflix.
Yeah.
You can watch Breaking Bad and whatever the hell they got on there another night.
And the dirt.
And all other bullshit, Just turn off your, shine your shoes, comb your hair, go down to the Antones on Thursday night, October 30th. Check this show out. Show some love to Awesome Music. Y'all talking about, I support Awesome Music. Bullshit. Yeah. Get your ass down there. Take your $10 out.
This is how you really support it.
This is how you support.
Yeah,
this is how you support.
No, it's great. And thank you. And you support too, man. So I appreciate you having me here.
No, dude, I've been trying to get you up here for 3 years.
I know.
You're like Bigfoot. You should call yourself Vinnie Vincent today.
Take it in. Yeah, I said, because I'm so elusive. I'm like, hey, you're coming on my show.
You're the Hispanic fucking Vinnie Vincent.
I know. I'm like, I'm sorry for being so
Vinnie Vallejo.
so elusive. I think I've always been that guy in Vallejo. Like, there's a lot of CDs that don't have my signature on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I was always kind of. I mean, I was a business guy.
You are the
band,
business
so
guy.
I was. While these guys were hanging out with everyone, like I was usually going to settle out or something like that. So everybody was like, "Where's Alex?" And they're like, people were like, always come up with a CD with everybody's signature except mine, But like, it wasn't intentional. It was just I'm the behind the scenes.
Somebody's got to take the business.
Someone's
got to get the
guy.
money.
Yeah. Somebody has to be in charge or be responsible, right? But and more than anything, I mean, I've always loved that part of it. I've always been fascinated with the business part of it. I loved. My favorite books were The Operator, the David Geffen, Hitman, talking about Walter Yetnikoff and those guys, how they traded bands. I mean, I've always been fascinated with the music business, how it works, I've always been that guy.
But you know what? That's why they call it the music business, because it's a business. And you guys know, I mean, there's a lot of bands in town that know how that business works.
Yeah.
You think you're going to become rock stars on a Monday, by Friday, you're back at Taco Bell working.
And we've experienced it in many good ways and bad ways. And I feel like what we like to help artists with is really kind of just, showing them hopefully a better way, just talking through it. I mean, there's no right or wrong way. I mean, there's not like a box where like, hey, here's how you make it. There's not that. It's
especially
just like,
these days.
Yeah, just talk. It's just have a healthy conversation of like how we can kind of move past where you're at now and stuff like that. But I mean, it's there's just a lot of good stuff happening, and I think the more that we can all have conversations and help each other with shows. I mean, shows is the best thing we can do.
That's what I told everybody.
The biggest noise we can make is play rock and roll.
That's what I told everybody on this show. And I was talking to Omar today, and I said, man, you got any ideas for something? I said, I get it. It's my and Tony's name on this thing, but I want to bring everybody in. I mean, look at Patrick's thing. Patrick came up with that. Yeah. This one came up with. I mean, I want everybody's input. You know what I mean? No, and everybody gets credit for it. But I want to make an event for everybody. I don't want it just to be me. You know what I mean? I want it to be everybody, like a big community event.
I think y'all have done a good job with that, and it's only going to get bigger. I mean,
it's gonna be fucking huge.
It's just like year 2, right? I mean, how many years have you done this? You've done it probably for a long time, but
no, not really.
As far as big as it got, like last year was.
That was like the second year. The first year was kind of, it was big, but it wasn't like on the Push Monkey level kind of thing.
Yeah. So, and this year is going to be huge.
It's going to be monstrous.
Awesome.
But anyways, speaking of that, tickets go on sale on October 30th at midnight. But what we are going to do, because we are trying to avoid these monstrous fees.
Yeah. Yeah. Always.
Who gets that money?
Yeah.
Who gets it? I don't even know. But anyways. What we want to do is we want to give each band like 20, 25 tickets. General admission tickets, $20 flat, no fee. You can get them from the bands. I'll probably be going to every band probably here next week and say, hey man, here's paper tickets.
Yeah.
Get
rid of them.
And that way you can get them ahead of time. Because I'm really the way we're gonna push this damn thing, and I mean, I might be standing on a very tall soapbox, but I'm really wanting to sell this bitch out.
Yeah, I think
that's my goal.
I think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Let's not even say think. It's gonna.
People
happen.
told me some. I had some other people up here about a week ago told me I'm fucking crazy.
No, you're not crazy.
But anyways,
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. So anyways, what I'm saying, get your tickets now. So anyway, we're working out the VIP packages right now. It's gonna be very cool. But so anyways, that's all I got for that one.
That's it. And thanks, man. Once again, I mean, it's everything everyone is doing is very exciting, and just to be involved in it. Obviously, we've been in town for a long time, but I mean, I think just to always.
You guys have been playing a lot of big shows lately, though, man. So this one's gonna be like another big show for you. Whatever.
It's all good. I mean, anything we can do to help the cause, but it is a great cause, and so a lot of good stuff coming up. I mean, for Vallejo, VallejoMusic.com. One Road Austin, OneRoadAustin.com, AustinMusicFoundation.org. EQ Austin, we don't have a website for that yet, but there's a Facebook page. Event Production Services, that's EPSTX.net. Go check that out for upcoming events that we have. So, a lot of good stuff. We can go to Omar and AJ's websites as well. We have so much stuff.
But does Bruce Castleberry have his own website? No. What is Bruce?
I think he probably does. Bruce does a lot of stuff too, man. He books. He's the booking agent at Moon Tower.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I mean,
we'll talk to him about
Bruce.
that.
Bruce is doing really well with a lot of the booking stuff too. So, I mean, everybody's involved, and it's
a bunch
by
of animals.
It's by default. I mean, we don't know how to do anything else. So.
Thank you so much for coming up
Thanks,
here.
Dude,
it's finally to get you up here.
Yeah. I know. Sorry it took so long. I think one time there was going to be there was a Vallejo interview or something. I didn't make it or something. I don't know what happened.
We throw together shit all the time. I mean, I got
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad I finally got
to
be
come up
in the infamous room.
The infamous. I don't know.
On the infamous camera.
The infamous camera. I got a brand new camera, by the way. Actually,
it's great.
Very cool.
You got a great.
Anyways, October 30th, Antone's. Go see this show.
Yes. One Road Austin.
One Road Austin. It's like a plethora of great artists in Austin. I mean, you're going to have, it's going to be a buffet table of greatness.
Yes. Yes.
Of all different kinds of cuisine.
Yes. And once again, just, showcasing our diverse music community that we have here. So
it's going to be very cool.
Yes.
So anyways, so $10 at the door?
$10 at the door. Go to the website. I think it's going to be it's $10 in advance. I think it's $12 at the door. So, but, we're not going to turn anybody away.
Bring
Whatever
cash.
you got. If you got $8, we'll let you.
See, don't say that because people will show up with fucking a couple quarters and a nickel and a dime in their pocket. There you go.
You're in.
You're in. All right. All right, man. I end the podcast the same way every single time, and I'm going to do it again tonight. People, please try to do the right thing because Lord knows most of you don't. And with that, thank you so much for coming up here. It's been awesome.
Man. Thank you, man.
You're the shit. Love you.
Thank you all.
All right. Peace. We're out. Later.